You know, in today's complex digital world, so many organizations feel a bit stuck, caught between the old ways of working and the incredible promise of new technology. What we're going to explore here is how to make that leap successfully, by choosing to move forward together, not alone. Let's dive in.
All right, so let's just get right to it with a tough question. Is your organization really built for the digital world of today? Or does it sometimes feel like you're the caterpillar, working really hard just to keep up, while others seem to have already taken flight? You know, this might sound really familiar. A corporate executive told us not long ago, we've invested millions in new software, but we completely forgot to bring our people along on the journey. And, well, the result is pretty predictable, right? You have these powerful digital tools just sitting there, their potential completely untapped.
And this, right here, gets to the very heart of the problem. What we often find is that change doesn't fail because people can't learn something new. It fails because we, as organizations, don't do a good job helping them unlearn the old ways. That process of letting go, that is the real challenge. So all of this, it brings organizations to what we call the digital crossroads. It's this new reality where there are huge risks, sure, but also some absolutely incredible opportunities for those who are prepared.
And look, the pressures really are mounting from every direction. You've got data volumes just exploding, regulations are getting tighter all the time all over the world. And then the cyber threats. I mean, they're becoming so much more sophisticated and expensive, projected to cost businesses $265 billion a year by 2031.
So when you see all that, it's really no surprise that in our talks with hundreds of companies, we're seeing that up to 90% of them just aren't ready for technologies like AI. When you dig in, the reasons are clear. Their data's a mess, business processes are fuzzy, and honestly, leadership is often hesitant to really drive these digital topics forward without a realistic long-term strategy.
Okay, so how do you build that solid foundation to move forward? Well, the answer isn't just piling on more rules. It requires a whole new kind of governance, one that moves beyond all that restrictive red tape and starts to build a framework that actively builds trust and allows people to create value.
So let's get clear on what we're actually talking about here with modern information governance. There's an international standard for this, ISO 2443, and it defines it as a strategic framework. But here's the important part. It's not just about managing information for compliance's sake. It's about aligning your people, your processes, and your technology to actually achieve your business goals. And this, right here, is a huge shift in thinking. The old way, that's the caterpillar, right? It was slow, it worked in silos, it was all about top-down control. But the modern way, that's the butterfly. It's collaborative, it's agile, and it puts people first. It's built on a foundation of trust in your people, trust in clear processes, and trust in making risk-aware decisions. So, making that transformation from caterpillar to butterfly, it's definitely a journey. It's not a switch you just flip overnight. So let's talk about a really pragmatic, guided way to get there, an approach we call the orange butterfly way. There's this fantastic quote from the thinker George Westerman that just nails it. He said, if you digitize a broken process, all you get is a faster caterpillar. The real goal, true transformation, is about creating the butterfly. And the best part is, this journey doesn't require some massive, scary leap. It's all about taking small, continuous steps. You start by really analyzing where your biggest pain points are. Then, you kick off a small, focused pilot project. You see what you can learn from that. You refine your approach, and then you can scale what's proven to work across the whole organization. This whole idea is based on the incredible power of compounding improvement. Think about it. Getting just 1% better each day might not sound like much, but over the course of a year, that adds up to being almost 38 times better. That's how you build unstoppable momentum. You're not trying to boil the ocean. Okay, so let's talk about the payoff. Why even start this journey? Because a modern, holistic approach to governance does more than just manage risk. It actively creates very real, very tangible opportunities for the business. It's really two sides of the same coin. On the one side, you're mitigating risk, making sure you're compliant, you're secure, you're protecting data privacy. But on the other, equally important side, you're creating opportunity. You're boosting employee productivity, you're sparking innovation, and you're driving real efficiency. And this all has a really tangible impact on the bottom line.
First, you work to avoid those massive costs that come with the data breach. We're talking an average of over $4 million. Then, you actually start making better use of the software and systems you've already paid for. And maybe most importantly, you create that solid, reliable foundation you need to safely and smartly leverage game-changing technologies like AI.
So really, the goal here becomes crystal clear. It's about guiding your organization through its own metamorphosis from being that grounded caterpillar held back by old habits into an agile butterfly ready for whatever the future holds.
Just imagine it for a second. An organization that is truly agile in its decisions, resilient in the face of constant change, and genuinely ready for what's next. That's the butterfly. That is the destination.
Now, a journey like this, it's much better taken together than alone. The most successful transformations are supported by a companion for the journey, a guide that provides proven methods, simple checklists, and pragmatic hands-on support right when you need it.
And that brings us right back to the beginning, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. Instead of being overwhelmed by this huge mountain to climb, just think back to that 1% idea. What is the first, small, but meaningful step your organization could take on its journey?
If you're ready to start exploring that simple question, we're ready to have a conversation. You can begin a non-binding conversation today by visiting orangebutterfly.digital.